Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, great to be here today and celebrate, I guess, 100 days until the first test against the Green Irish Lions. We're expecting north of 40,000 spectators to come to Australia and support the British and Irish Lions, and the enormous economic impact that will have across the country, as well as building rugby and awareness of rugby with the connection with all Australians, not just rugby supporters. So a very exciting milestone today as we count down what's going to be a thrilling series. Not just for the players, not just the spectators going to the venues and going to the games, but all Australians who get to witness what is one of the most iconic sporting rivalries and teams that's generated anywhere in the world. So we're looking forward to it. A lot of really exciting announcements coming down the line, and we obviously had one yesterday with the security of broadcasting through to 2030. So looking forward to what will be an incredible series coming to Australia, and 100 days until the first test against the Lions on the 19th of July. Thank you.
You're young and Andrew, what can you remember of the last Lions tour?
Last Lions tour, I just remember vividly, I guess, the competition, the crowd, the rivalry. I remember Israel Folau and George North going up against it. I remember I had the pleasure of playing with Jamie Roberts at the Tars. I remember him playing. It was probably the time I was about 12 years old, so just going into high school, sort of realising that I would want to be a professional rugby player. So the Lions actually had a lot to do with me getting excited and potentially dreaming about other. No, I didn't. It was too young.
How special would it be to actually be a part of the series, which you've said, but like a lot of players that don't ever get the chance?
Yeah, look, it'd be super special. As Kel's reiterated before, it's, to fall in that 12-year window when you're playing your best rugby is quite rare, and also to stay injury free, and I guess the coach to back you also. It's a lot of things have to align to get the opportunity to play for Wallabies against the Lions. So it's a massive honour, but as Kel said before, it's about getting picked to put your best foot forward in Super Rugby, which is what a lot of boys are doing now, and then we go for the future opportunity. Yeah, like really well. Obviously, we've had some years there where there was quite aggressive, very different avenues, and now I feel like the players have been consistent, and I guess starting to build that division, starting to get confident in how to play, and that's what showed on the last year's tour. Those plays has really helped me, myself and guys Australian rugby to really understand where our game needs to be those sort of teams. We've both played with a lot of those boys that I played with last year. A lot of the Reds boys through grades 18s, 20s. So it's awesome to sort of come through together, and as well as having that spring, I guess that maturity as the guys that have been around for a long time. It's well like yours.
That stuff last year was quite a lot to put
Yeah, 100%. Actually hearing it was in the car, and he was playing music with his name. It didn't. Again, that's something to think in. Everyone's their opinion. Look, it's great that now he sort of has been on the line, and that was after 2 weeks later. After the big I'm just excited for this year and to get better together after Super Rugby, but it's all better sort of now. Yeah, of course, Six Nations, I guess, an awesome spectacle to watch. Best players going up against the world. Look, the front row is strong, irrespective of that. Let's keep it up. Time for the score. We've got plenty of plenty of firepower through all countries. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick. But yeah, look, it's going to be very, very tough.
As a Waratahs player, if Les Smith does get the Wallabies job, would you be happy for him to be a Reds coach as well?
Yeah, I don't mind. As I said before, it's up to the people paying the big bucks to make that decision. So yeah, it's out of our pay grade. But yeah, look, it doesn't really matter who ends up being coach. It's about, I guess, transitioning that work that Joe's doing now to what we're going to do after. Look, if Les gets the job or someone else, then that's fine. We just keep building towards where we need to go. Bring the players to get where Australia needs to be.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time. We're just going to head over.
Morning everyone, it's phenomenal to be here as we mark 100 days from the first test here in New South Wales. And Sydney is the home of rugby in Australia, and we have a very long history of also hosting deciders and potential deciders for the Lions. A rivalry that dates back 126 years. New South Wales government is so excited to be hosting this phenomenal event. We know it's going to be a massive economic driver for our state as we welcome tens of thousands of visitors, not just from across Australia, but from Britain as Ireland, as we welcome them here on our shores. Very exciting time, 100 days to the first test. I say to people across Australia and outside, get amongst it, this is going to be a
Andrew, can you tell us what are your memories of what you were doing the last time the Lions took it?
I can't tell you, I was right in that window where you had to go after school, so I don't remember very clearly, but I do remember enough to know that it's something that, we've heard enough about how it's so infrequent that you might not ever get to be a part of it. And, to have my career fall in a window where it's a possibility, it's super exciting.
In terms of, I know your focus on Waratahs, but you see all four teams and top six, the growth from the spring tour. Does that feel with confidence in the players? Hey, we can really take this line for
Yeah, it does a bit. I think when you're a part of a team, you always think you can win, even if people, especially if people don't. But I think the format Super Rugby only adds excitement. I don't think it adds confidence. I think everybody within our environment already thought, you really truly believe you can win, and those that don't feel that way are probably not in the right spot. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't really make me feel more confident, but it does make me feel more excited. Yeah, the hostile crowd is something you don't get at home usually, so to have that in our own backyard will be an interesting experience, but I think it'll only add to the unique nature of the experience, and it's all part of it, right? It's like the coming up in the store. I think so. I think from Bailey's stadium, generally speaking. So, those things happening in the past, they're going to add value, at least in the experience further down the track. So, I think so.
Obviously, Joe Schmidt's locked in for the Lions too, but unless Phil can lightness, it appears Les Chiss is favourite to take over after him. Are you happy for Les to take over?
Phil? Okay. No, look, I don't know who the coach is going to be. It's way above my pay grade, fortunately. But I know whoever it is, Joe's set us up in a really, really sustainable way, and I think hopefully those things last long beyond Joe, and we certainly better for us.
If it is Les, there's some talk he could stay as Reds coach as a Waratah. Are you happy to have the Wallabies coach also coaching your opposition?
We'll check what we're going in for the Waratahs coach, so I guess if it happens, that'll only be one more, so leave it there.
Andrew, Phil Wilson spoke about how the job might be split.
Well, I'm not a coach, and I'm a performance manager, so I don't know if it'll work. I think I need a couple more years in the saddle to make that assessment. But if the powers that be think it'll work, then there's a good reason for that.
Kellaway,
No, I think so. I think that happens when you spend. The group, names from beginning with Dave Rennie all the way through to now. They've got largely business names, so or mostly. So that gives you a chance to know people better, a chance to understand how they work better, what makes them tick. And as I said earlier, I think we'll only benefit from those experiences from back then up until now, and as moving forward even beyond that. I reckon it'll be. No idea. I think if I was picking it, I don't know, maybe Finn Russell. I don't know. I think Ben Smith's a pretty good player. He's a Northampton man, so maybe we'll go with him. Thank you.
Gabba had to read late to later on the phone and saying what was it like seeing how
Yeah, it was quite special, wasn't it? That first game in Brisbane, we didn't know what we were going into, I don't think. We knew it was about the British Irish Lions, but we didn't know what the calibre of football was going to be played. We didn't know, how many people were going to be around. But we certainly got a great shot. I still remember John Muggleton, who was our defensive coach, and Daniel Herbert, who was our centre at the time, and they were running through us. They were running around us, and we were struggling. And John Muggleton said, "Mate, stick to the pattern, stick to the defensive patterns." And Herbie, in a very colourful way, said, "Mate, the patterns aren't working." We were getting belted. We had a real shift of focus when we went back to Coffs Harbour. It sort of got serious after that. We went down to Melbourne when we played in Melbourne, and that's when that real gold theme came through. So, the beanies, the scarves, the shirts, and we got that winner. I still think back about that era, about that series. We won 1.5 games, they won 1.5 games. We just happened to be on the right side of the ledger at that last game in Sydney. They were all over us in Melbourne. Joe scored that incredible try, left-hand corner, for the intercept from Wilkinson, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And we end up getting a roll on from that game. We won 35-12, and then we go to Sydney for the decider, and it was spectacular. It was Aussie and red jerseys everywhere. And to get the victory, and obviously there's the stories about that. Justin Harrison, his first Test match, winning that line out there. I remember the George Gregan sort of on the cigars with Kev, that embrace at the very end there. So it was a moment in time that we look back on really fondly. That fun.
What makes I World Cup draws for a Lions series?
Oh, you got to take World Cup. But we had a fair run, didn't we? We had 98 Weatherslow, 99 World Cup, 2000 Tri-Nations, 2001 Lions, 2002 Weatherslow. So we had a fair run. We had a great team of players to do that as well. Lions are special in itself because once every 12 years, you may miss out on playing in a series of the Lions because of just by product of that 12 years. Only a couple of players have done it twice. I think George Smith has done it. But when you get the chance to do it like these guys, they'll be absolutely looking back through history and saying, what an amazing achievement.
So about a run, the way this is set up with the 27 World Cup, have you seen enough from what known as Springfield and Super Rugby? I think this team has the capability.
Yeah, very much so. I'm loving what all the teams are producing for Super Rugby at the moment. From the Reds to Waratahs, through to the Brumbies and also the Force. There's some great football being played. Plus, there's competition for spots, which is I think one of the great things about it. So when you're looking at the run, and it's an incredible run these guys have. We've obviously coming up very soon, the Lions series. We've got the World Cup coming up in 27. Which is here. Then from the females' perspective, there's the 29 World Cup as well. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to what these guys are doing. The game has changed so much as well. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster than whatever we did, and to maintain that level at that height is really difficult. And 3 Test matches in this Lions series back to back to back. That's going to be tough in itself. But it's up there more than anything else. In these Lions series, and those who are the smarter ones will do well. It was an interesting call from Ben Youngs, wasn't it? Earlier on saying maybe we should go elsewhere. You can't write off an Aussie spirit. The Aussie spirit is so good, and most oftentimes we punch above our weight. With the way it finished this year, with Ireland not winning, they've got to choose some more players from elsewhere. So England will get their majority of players. Ireland will have their majority of players. Scotland will get some in there. Wales, you might sneak a few. So all of a sudden, it's a really difficult proposition then to get a culminating team to be able to thrive and be cohesive. That's probably the big one. So look, it doesn't matter who they throw out there. These guys have to play well, and that's the great thing about it. That Aussie spirit, as I mentioned, when you throw that jersey on, there's no denying the spirit that comes out in there, and then culminating with that playing at home and having an Aussie crowd supporting it. It is quite the moment to be a part of. They're not in the back foot, no, not at all. I mean, they get to choose from 4 teams to make a super team, if that's the word. We do as well, which is the great thing about it. When you look at the lines, though, and you look through history, representing a country is obviously the biggest thing. But those who go on to represent lines, that's like another level above. And then you've got the history that goes with it. They play every 4 years, and they tour every 4 years, obviously, with South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. But it's just something special. There's something about it. And these guys will get to experience 40,000 people coming down, going from all the way over the west, coming back to the east, and having a crack. So that's the best thing about it. So you're not going to dive into a pass there and make the statement. I'll make it up for the boys to make when they come up and have a chat.